There's a lot of different concepts that are in this movie. We could spend an hour on this movie and still not touch like all the different concepts from the way the movie's laid out. I mean, we could go on forever about it. There's definitely some key ones. Like in the very beginning, it shows like the layout of the war, these beautiful scenes of like a bird and the wheatgrass, and then it zooms out and they're actually about to go to war. And they're essentially showing this idea that what you're looking at, the attitude or the situation can change based on the lens that you're looking at it from. And in this particular aspect, it went from, it was beautiful, super zoomed in because it's showing Maximus and he's like noticing all these like little beautiful things, and then it zooms out and they're in a war. And obviously you can flip that, and I think you can apply it to all our lives. One of the ones I was comparing to is like Houston. Depending on what scope you look at Houston, it can either be like the most awesome thing or the most terrible thing. In some sense, you look at Houston and it can kind of be gross. Sometimes it's like really smoggy here and the air doesn't smell that great. There's obviously like a lot of homeless problems and a lot of poverty problems here. But then when you zoom in, like I took a walk last night, and man, the Heights is just so awesome. It really is super pretty down here. There's like a lot of people, but you can still see that there's actual effort into making the Heights like a cool place to like be outside. Even something as simple as like putting lights up on a tree and having like a nice walking area to go down. How many places in the world can you walk down the street and get ramen 24/7, or stop and get some late night ice cream, or go on a walk with your dog, go out and just be about? You can go walking here in the Heights and it'd be a nice walk. That trippy contrast that you can have sometimes. Obviously it can be reversed too, where you can look super closely at something and you can think about how bad it sucks and how annoying it is, but then you can zoom out and you just be grateful that that's your problem.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my friend, he loves to say, if you put everyone's problems in a bag, you would almost always wish for yours back. Mm-hmm. No matter how bad you think you have it, there's always someone that has it way worse.
Yep.
And just be grateful that these are the problems that you're dealt with, and do your best to overcome them.
I experience that a lot when I go to a men's group. So I go to a men's group once a month, and that's one of the biggest themes for me. I think I'll be going through some stuff or whatever, and then I hear what everyone else is going. I would not trade my problems for anyone else's. Like I'm glad to deal with what I got to deal with. If you really think about it, that's such a profound thing, because we can get caught up in this idea of, oh, what does that person have, or how did they get that? Everyone else has all these things, but I don't, and no one knows what I'm going through, and no one could do what I'm doing, this kind of thing. But if you really get the chance to really hear what people are going through and what their lives are like, you'll just be happy. You just literally be like, you know what? I don't want to deal with that. And, you know, it doesn't even have to be more difficult or anything, but you could just be just this idea that whether you believe it or not, you chose what it is that you're going through. And, you know, that's actually one of the biggest quotes in this movie, too. It goes, "Nothing happens to any man which he is not formed by nature to bear." And it's kind of just going over this principle of like, I think it's in the beginning before all the bad stuff starts to happen to him, but it's this idea that we can't always control our situation, but we can control our mind and attitude. And so that kind of foreshadows into it, because then they kill his wife and his son. So what happens is that Marcus Aurelius decides to pass the title of emperor to Maximus and not his son, but ends up dying before it could become official. And his son ends up killing him, because he tells his son that he doesn't want him to be the emperor, and he ends up becoming so distraught over it, he kills Marcus Aurelius. And back in those days, if you became emperor or king, you would automatically kill anyone that would have a claim to the throne. Right. That was just the way business was done. And generally they would kill the whole family too, because they wouldn't want the heir to grow up to try to come back and attack you. So he becomes emperor, goes to kill him, and Maximus is able to escape.